Emma was thinking about her 8-year-old daughter's school play when the first gunshot rang out in the store. As a mother, her instinct was to hide and protect herself. As a former Marine Corps combat instructor, she knew hiding would get innocent people killed. The choice she made next would reveal a secret she'd kept buried for 7 years. Welcome to Secret Human Stories. Before I tell you this incredible story of courage and hidden identity, tell me in the comments what city you're watching from today. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be told, hit that subscribe button, because sometimes the greatest heroes are hidden in the most ordinary places. Emma Martinez was exactly what she appeared to be, a 34-year-old single mother working the evening shift at Henderson's market for 3 years. From 4 p.m. to midnight every day, she'd greet customers with a warm smile, scan their groceries, count their change, and send them on their way. She was the perfect employee, always on time, never complained, always helpful. The small market on Maple Street was Emma's world now. She knew every regular customer by name. Mrs. Rodriguez, who bought fresh bread every Tuesday for her large family. Mr. Kim, who always asked for his lottery tickets to be triple-checked. The Thompson twins, who snuck candy bars when their parents weren't looking. Emma had become part of the fabric of this working-class neighborhood, threading herself into dozens of small daily routines. Her coworkers appreciated her reliability. Emma never called in sick, never showed up late, never caused drama. She kept her personal life private, but was always willing to cover an extra shift when someone needed help. The store manager, David, had promoted her to senior cashier within 6 months. Emma just has this way of making people feel safe, he'd tell other employees. Customers loved Emma. "Good evening, Mrs. Johnson," she'd say to regular shoppers. "How's little Tommy doing?" she'd ask about their children. She remembered birthdays, asked about sick relatives, celebrated good news. She was the neighborhood grocery clerk, warm, dependable, predictable, a constant in a changing world. But there was a chapter in Emma Martinez's past that nobody at Henderson's Market knew about, because Emma's hands weren't just hands that scanned barcodes and counted money. They were hands that had been trained to save lives and end threats, and those skills, dormant for 7 years, were about to resurface when her community needed them most. The real identity. From 2009 to 2016, Emma Martinez had served as a sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. But she wasn't just any ordinary soldier, she was a close combat instructor. At Quantico Base, she had trained thousands of Marines in weapon disarmament, close-quarters combat, and threat neutralization. The path to becoming a Marine Corps combat instructor is grueling. Out of every 100 candidates who attempt the specialized training, fewer than 12 complete the program. Emma had excelled not just in the physical demands, but in the split-second decision-making that separated life from death in combat situations. Her instructors noted something rare. She could maintain absolute calm while processing multiple threats simultaneously. Her specialty was urban warfare and civilian protection scenarios. In training exercises, Emma would be placed in simulated environments, shopping centers, schools, residential areas, and challenged to neutralize threats while protecting innocent bystanders. Her success rate was extraordinary. In over 200 training scenarios, she had never lost a single civilian. She'd completed 2 tours in Afghanistan, but her missions were classified: special operations, high-value target protection, embassy security, and hostile territories, the kind of assignments that don't appear in official records. Her commanding officers recognized her unique combination of tactical excellence and protective instinct. She wasn't just eliminating threats, she was saving lives. During her second tour, Emma had earned the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal for actions that couldn't be publicly detailed. What her fellow Marines knew was that Emma Martinez could be trusted to bring everyone home alive. What they didn't know was the psychological cost of carrying that responsibility. Her hands had been trained to disarm enemy weapons in under 2 seconds, to render enemy combatants unconscious without causing permanent injury, to turn life-or-death situations into survival victories. But more than that, her mind had been conditioned to assess threats, calculate odds, and execute perfect tactical responses while bullets flew around her. In 2016, she'd made the decision to leave military service. The reason was simple. She wanted to be a normal mother to her 8-year-old daughter, Sophia. She wanted to leave the wars behind and become the mom who attended school meetings, drove her daughter to dance lessons, did makeup, and watched school plays with tears of joy instead of tears of loss. The transition to civilian life hadn't been easy. PTSD therapy, adjustment issues, job search difficulties. The hardest part wasn't learning to sleep without checking for threats every few minutes, or stopping herself from tactically assessing every person who entered a room. The hardest part was learning to be weak again, to be vulnerable, to be just another civilian who didn't carry the weight of everyone else's safety on her shoulders. When she finally started working at Henderson's market, she hadn't mentioned her military background. She'd simply said, "My previous job was very stressful." Nobody had asked for details. The hiring manager was just happy to find someone reliable who could work evening shifts. For 3 years, Emma had successfully buried Sergeant Martinez. She'd created a new identity around price checks and small talk, deliberately choosing the most ordinary life possible. She drove a used Honda Civic, lived in a modest apartment, shopped with coupons. Normal, invisible, safe. But late at night, when Sophia was asleep, Emma would sometimes catch herself scanning their apartment for entry points, mentally calculating response times for emergency services, checking and rechecking the locks. Old habits from a life she'd left behind, muscle memory from a time when constant vigilance meant survival. What Emma didn't realize was that some skills never truly leave you. They just wait, dormant, until the moment they're needed again. That night's beginning, November 15th, Thursday night, 9:47 p.m. Emma was working the register during what should have been a quiet evening shift. The store was peaceful, with just a few customers finishing their shopping before closing time. The familiar rhythm of scanning items and making change had become meditative for Emma, a stark contrast to the hypervigilance that had once defined her daily existence. Old Mr. Peterson had come in for his daily newspaper and a container of milk. At 73, he moved slowly, often sharing stories about his late wife while Emma rang up his purchases. Mrs. Chen was in aisle 3, carefully selecting snacks for her twin boys' school lunches tomorrow. The janitor, Miguel, was mopping the produce section, humming quietly to himself. Just another normal evening shift in a normal neighborhood market. Emma's mind was on her daughter. Sophia's school play was in 2 days, the big performance she'd been practicing for months. She was playing the White Rabbit in their production of Alice in Wonderland, complete with a fluffy tail and pink bow tie that Emma had spent hours perfecting. Emma had already requested time off, charged her camera, and planned to sit in the front row like any other proud parent. For the first time in years, Emma felt truly settled in her civilian life. The nightmares had mostly stopped. The hyper-alertness that once made grocery shopping exhausting had faded. She was just Emma Martinez, single mom and night cashier, looking forward to watching her daughter perform on stage. At 9:52 p.m., the electronic door chime announced another customer. Emma looked up with her practiced smile. "Good evening. How can I—" She couldn't finish the sentence. 2 men in dark hoodies entered, moving with the kind of purposeful stride that immediately triggered Emma's dormant tactical instincts. But it was what she saw in their hands that activated 7 years of buried training in a single heartbeat. 2 masked men entered, and Emma's world changed forever. One carried a 9mm handgun, held with the nervous grip of someone who'd watched too many movies but had little real experience with firearms. The other wielded what appeared to be a modified AR-15 style rifle, and from his stance, Emma could tell he was the more dangerous of the two, the leader, the one who would make the critical decisions. "Everyone on the ground!" shouted the gunman, his voice cracking slightly with adrenaline. "This is a robbery. Nobody move. Nobody try to be a hero." In that instant, Emma Martinez ceased to exist. The woman who had spent 3 years scanning groceries and chatting about weather was replaced by something else entirely. Sergeant Martinez, the Marine who had faced down enemy combatants in the mountains of Afghanistan, assessed the situation with cold military precision. Her civilian mind screamed, "Hide behind the counter, call for help, protect yourself for Sophia's sake." Her military mind calculated 6 civilians in immediate danger, 2 armed threats, multiple tactical options, acceptable casualty risk, 0. Emma's world split in 2. On one side was Emma the mother. She should hide to protect herself for her daughter's sake. On the other side was Sergeant Martinez. She had a duty to protect innocent people. 7 years of carefully constructed civilian identity crumbled in the space of a heartbeat. The crisis moment. There were 6 people in the store at that moment: Emma, 2 customers, the store manager, a janitor, and elderly Mr. Peterson. The robbers ordered everyone to get on the floor. "Get all the money out of that register," the gunman shouted at Emma. "Fast, or I'll kill this old man." Mr. Peterson was trembling with fear. He was 73 years old with a heart condition. This stress could kill him. Emma started opening the register, but her mind was completely elsewhere. She was conducting a tactical assessment. Attacker 1. Handgun, 2-meter distance, inexperienced grip. Attacker 2. Assault rifle, 4-meter distance, position near door. Civilians, 6 people, oldest 73, youngest 25. Exit points, main door, blocked. Rear exit, 150 meters. Security cameras, 4 units, recording. "Hurry up!" screamed the gunman. "Get all the money out!" Emma pulled out the $847 from the register, but she knew the robbers wouldn't be satisfied with that. They might not want to leave witnesses. Decision moment. "Is that all?" said the rifle-carrying robber. "There should be more." The register looked fuller. "We only had this much in sales tonight," Emma said calmly. "You're lying." The gunman pointed his weapon at Mr. Peterson's head. "I'll kill the old man." That was the moment Emma Martinez set aside her mother identity and became Sergeant Martinez, because an innocent man's life was in danger, and she was the only person who could stop it. "Okay," said Emma. "There's a safe in the back room. More money is there." The robber laughed. "That's more like it. Show us to the back room." Emma came out from behind the register. Her steps were slow, calculated. The robbers thought she was moving calmly out of fear, but Emma was actually positioning herself. The operation. As Emma walked toward the back room, a complete combat plan had formed in her mind. Her 12 years of training kicked in. Step 1, close distance with gunman. Step 2, control and neutralize his weapon. Step 3, neutralize rifle carrier. Step 4, keep both under control. "Through this door," Emma said, pointing to the back room entrance. The gunman approached her. 1.5 meters distance, in Emma's strike zone. Emma suddenly moved. 12 years of training compressed into 3 seconds. Right hand grabbed the attacker's wrist, redirected the gun barrel upward. Left elbow struck the attacker's chest cavity, cutting off his breath. Right knee came up into the attacker's groin, doubling him over. The gun fell from his hands. Before the second attacker could understand what happened, Emma was on him. He tried to fire the rifle, but Emma was already beside him. She pushed the rifle barrel aside. Right fist connected with the attacker's jaw. Foot sweep brought him to the ground. She took the rifle from his hands and threw it to a safe distance. Both attackers were on the floor, unconscious. Total time, 47 seconds. The aftermath. While Emma kept the robbers under control, she called to the manager, "Call 911. 2 suspects unconscious. Need ambulance." The customers stared at Emma in shock. "Emma, how did you do that?" asked Mrs. Chen. "From my previous job," Emma said simply. Police arrived in 4 minutes. Emma explained the situation. 2 suspects attempted to rob the store. I defended myself. Detective Sarah Williams reviewed Emma's report. "Ma'am, these disarmament techniques are professional level. How did you learn them?" Emma hesitated. She had to reveal the identity she'd kept hidden for 3 years. "I'm a Marine. Close combat instructor." Silence. "Your rank?" said Detective Williams. "I was a sergeant. 2 tours in Afghanistan." The truth revealed. The next day, security camera footage from Henderson's market was broadcast on local news. The story, "Grocery store clerk single-handedly stops armed robbery," was talked about throughout the city. When Emma came to work, customers looked at her with different eyes. Respect, admiration, curiosity. "Emma," said the store manager, "why didn't you tell us about your military background?" "Because it wasn't necessary," said Emma. "I'm just a cashier." But she wasn't just a cashier anymore. She was the city's hero. Mr. Peterson made a special visit to thank Emma. "Young lady, you saved my life. I don't know how to thank you." "Mr. Peterson, I just did what was right," said Emma. Family reaction. When she got home that evening, Sophia met her at the door. "Mom, I saw you on TV. You're so cool." Emma hugged her daughter. "Sophia, I'm just your mom. That stuff is in the past. But you were a soldier, weren't you? You're so strong." Emma sat down, looked into her daughter's eyes. "Yes, I used to be a soldier. But now my most important job is being your mother." "Did you become a soldier to protect me?" "No, sweetheart. I'm not a soldier because I protect you. I'm your mom because I love you." Community impact. Emma's story made national news. Hidden hero. Grocery store clerk was actually war veteran. Interviews were offered. But Emma gave no interviews. She appeared on no TV shows. She just continued her work. A representative from Veterans Affairs visited Emma. "Ma'am, would you like recognition for your community service?" "No, thank you," said Emma. "I just did what was right." The final message. 6 months later, Emma still works at Henderson's market. She still serves customers with the same warm smile. But now people know who she is. Sophia's school play happened that week. Emma sat in the front row, filming her daughter with her camera. When Sophia appeared on stage in her rabbit costume, Emma's eyes filled with tears. After the play, Sophia ran and hugged her mother. "Mom, you watched me." "Of course, sweetheart. You're my hero." Other parents looked at Emma with respect, but she was just there as a mother. Closing. Emma Martinez's story teaches us this: real heroes are everywhere. Grocery store clerks, bus drivers, teachers, they all might have extraordinary pasts. But most importantly, heroism isn't measured by what you did in the past, but by what you choose to do today. Emma chooses every day to be a mother to her daughter, to serve her customers, to contribute to her community. That's what real heroes do. They serve quietly, stay humble, and act when needed. So tell me, do you notice the Emma Martinezes around you? In the comments, tell us about the hidden heroes you know. Let's keep these stories alive. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because at Secret Human Stories, the most powerful stories come from the most ordinary places. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, remember, the person next to you might be a grocery store clerk, or they might be a life-saving hero. The greatest legends don't wear capes. Sometimes they wear name tags and ask, "Paper or plastic?" The greatest legends don't wear capes. Sometimes they wear name tags and ask, "Paper or plastic?" But when evil walks through the door, they remember who they really are underneath those ordinary uniforms. They remember that some oaths never expire and some duties never end. Emma Martinez clocked out at midnight, just like she had every night for 3 years. But she wasn't the same person who had clocked in 8 hours earlier. She was someone who had remembered that being a hero isn't about the uniform you wear. It's about the choice you make when others need you most.